Here we go. Spoiler alert, audience. Hi, everybody. Look at you.
Look at you.
I like this. Hi, everybody. Back from the fair. Look at the people. Hello. Thank you, everybody. We're back in the studio after a couple weeks of the fair. Thank you, everybody. It is good to be back home. Hi. Hello, September. Thank you. Have a seat. Let's get started. Hello. Hello, gorgeous. Hello, September. It's September now. That's right. I know. Ladies and gentlemen, she's my sister from another mister. Give it up for my good friend. It's Miss Kendall, everybody.
Morning.
Hi, sweetheart.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. It's good to be back.
It really does, even though we're way past school, it feels like the first day of school, doesn't it? Kind of. It's, the fall is in the air. And we're done with the fair.
Yeah.
I have my sharpened number 2 pencil in my hand. I feel great. Yeah.
Hey, I need more pencils, I guess.
I'll give you some pencils a little bit later.
I feel like I'm not ready for school.
But we survived the fair. Another one down the books. I just want to say thanks to every single one of you. We had giant crowds every single day. So to everybody that came out to see us, thank you so much. Sincerely. It was so, we had a great time, didn't we?
We totally did. I'm just really happy that your lip got better in time for some fair food on Monday.
So, yeah, as I said, if you missed, we did a special show on yesterday live, but just in case you missed it, you're probably busy eating hot dogs and brats and stuff. Lip-mageddon is over, as you can see. My lip is all better. It was the craziest darn thing. Again, I'm not trying to be funny here. Please learn from me. I've said it 500 times, but I'll say it again. Use UV, like a SPF lip balm whenever you go out for long periods of time, because you do not want to go through this. It was literally 2 weeks where I was eating nothing but stuff came from a straw, and I won't tell you how it ended on Friday, but let's just say, if you listen to the radio show, you know it did not end well, but it healed very quickly, and now it's back to normal. But so here's the deal, as Kendall said, she set me up perfectly for this. So I wasn't able to eat anything at the fair, not during our show. And I was there every day, and I had to pass the gizmo, I had to pass this. So yesterday was the one and only day, the last day that I could eat. I got done with the Jason show, and I ate my way from one end of the fair to the other. Yeah. Now before Director Leo puts up a picture, let me quickly tell you what I ate yesterday, and I have no shame. Are you ready for this? Now, I did share a lot of these items, but I had a Nordic waffle with Fruity Pebbles and Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. That I ate a full one. I had 2 adult slushies. I had a gizmo. I had like half a gizmo sandwich. I had fried pickles. I had half a tray of cheese curds. And then I had a little bite of honey ice cream, and then I ended it with my caramel sundae from the Dairy Building. It was fantastic. And then, so as you guys know, I started working out at the beginning of the year, so I want to be healthy. So I went home last night. Look at this picture. I took it. I went for like a 2-hour run afterwards. Look at this. So I did 26,000 steps yesterday, and I did 13 miles to work off that food. That's right. I doubt if I did, though. I did. I always run down by the Mississippi River because I live right there. I was like Forrest Gump. I was running. I gotta work off that ice cream, and I didn't work off anything, though. I probably did all those calories.
But it is true. You go to the fair and you kind of wonder how you're not so obnoxiously full. At least I always wonder. It's because you walk so much. You do.
Yes.
Especially like you're saying, you do the.
It was crazy. So thanks again to everyone that came to see us. Let's get started, everybody, with the hot dish. Here we go. We'll use this one. Very nice lady from Anoka gave me a new hot dish spoon. She had it burned in, a little hot dish, so people always give me spoons. I love it. Let's get started, everybody. Justin Bieber, we're going to start with, opening up about the struggles of fame. I love this. I thought this was really cool. In an Instagram post, we're not going to read that whole thing, by the way. I'm just saying, yeah. That'll be on the Jason After show. But anyway, hey, but seriously, he talked about his mental health problems. He wrote, have you noticed the statistics of child stars and the outcome of their life? There is an insane pressure, he writes, and responsibility put on a child whose brain and emotions aren't developed yet. At 18, Justin said he had no real-world skills, millions of dollars, and access to whatever he wanted. Then he writes that at 19, and I don't think we knew this. I don't think he's ever, revealed it. He admitted he started doing drugs at 19 and abusing all of his relationships. That's his words. And by 20, he was the most hated person in the world. He says now he is navigating the best season of his life, marriage, and offered encouragement to those who are struggling. And I thought, you know what? I applaud him because the more that people in Justin's position talk about mental illness, mental health, I think it takes the stigma away for young people who look up to him. If they're struggling, back in my day, we didn't talk about stuff like that. I on the radio show, we don't really have a lot of opportunities here, but I recently talked about I'm in therapy, and I'm in the process of being diagnosed with being ADHD, and it's opened my eyes to a lot of things. I'm like, why do I act like that? And why have I had this struggle in life? And I literally, the therapist, my first executive producer Jeff knows this. I'm going to play the role of my therapist. So this is our first session, and she's talking to me, and she goes, tell me your story. So I'm telling my story, and I'm like, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. And this is her. She was, yeah, okay, Here you go. I think you're ADHD. I mean, literally, she was like, as I'm talking, she's nodding her head going, yeah. Here's a checklist there, Chica. Check this, and yeah. But it did, and it started my role, and I had a woman come up to me and say, I'm your age. I was listening to the signs you talked about. And she went to get diagnosed, and she said her life is on a different path now. So it's I bring that up because when you talk about stuff, it takes the boogeyman away from it. And, and you know what? So bravo to Justin Bieber. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. Next in the dish. Oh, Kendall's excited. The next story, the 4th season of This Is Us on NBC debuts in a few weeks. And the Peacock just released the trailer. Look at this.
It's so strange, isn't it? How just like that, a complete stranger can become such a big part of your story. A single cross with one person you've never met can change everything.
It's gonna be great.
How big is that cast?
It's a little big. It's big. But what was so cool about that?
Captain Stubing was in that show. Les Nessman from WKRP was in that show. You have no idea the 2 people I just listed. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
No, I don't. But the really cool thing is she really set it up in that open. There's a lot of strangers that you don't know because in that clip, as someone who's watched it forever, I didn't know half the people they just showed. So that's what they're saying is that like, oh, who are all these new characters coming on?
But the font was like, you don't know us. Don't we?
But that's the whole point.
Don't we know them already? We don't.
Okay. So the whole show is about the one family, correct? Yeah. You figure that out after the first episode that it's about one person, and it changes time. So you go forward in time, you go back in time, even further back in time. Hence why there's so many people, but they're all just one person. Jason.
I'm sorry. No, I know. I'm just trying to razz up the lovers of the show. I'm kidding. I get it. This would be a show that you would think I would like. I just have never gotten on the
it wins a lot of
band.
awards. No big deal. Like a lot of awards.
Oh no, she didn't.
Country Crock Butter wins awards. It doesn't mean it's good for you.
But
Next
it
in the
tastes
dish.
good.
Next in the dish, in honor of the 25th anniversary of the debut episode of Friends, Warner Brothers, they own the show, wants to do something for the fans that has a lot of New Yorkers upset. So here's the deal. The production company wants to put that famous sofa on the sidewalk in front of the apartment building where Monica, Rachel, Chandler, and Joey live. The photo op would require a sidewalk closure, and at a community board meeting, residents want nothing to do with it. And they say the part of the problem is they already get 400 tourists a day on average snapping pictures. Warner Brothers says they were not aware of the meeting. Otherwise, they would have attended the meeting. Here's the deal. I can see both sides of this. The side where I'm kind of like, get over it. You knew when you moved into that building what that building was. You know what I mean? I mean, chances are you did. If you're unaware, then that's a whole other story. But you knew, and this is only a week. No matter where you live, there's going to be an annoyance. I mean, think of people that live in Falcon Heights. They have to put up with us driving in their neighborhood to the state fair for 12 days.
Right,
you know
but
what I
we
mean?
get to park in their yard. Cash money.
Yeah, for
What?
$100. Yeah.
Well, right, but they get some money, so hey.
Would you be mad if you were in that building?
It's only for a week. I think that is really the key point there is, one, Warner Brothers, maybe you should have held a meeting with the people who live there.
Yeah. Give them a mug. Yeah, give them a friend's mug or something. That's a good idea.
Like, we didn't know about the meeting. Well, like, maybe you should have had one. But also, it's a week. Get over it.
Give them a Joey pillow or something.
Joey pillow.
We have a lot more to come, everybody. Stay right there. Back after these words. More hot dishes straight ahead. The Great British Baking Show is back for a new season on Netflix with a twist.
Morning, bakers. Welcome to your very first day in the 10th. How much?
I'll tell you about it and give you my thoughts on the new contestants, the Baker's Dozen. Then Minnesota's Jeopardy champ Sam Kavanaugh is back with us for a rematch with Fox 9 know-it-all Nick. Now I'm regretting this because if he wins, we will never hear the end of it. Who will win this time? The answer is, who is anyone's guess? And Kendall is introducing you to the woman behind the mega popular blog and Instagram account, Wit and Delight. That's all coming up, so stay right there.
Popping this on. Give me 1 sec, because my hand's shaking.
Oh my God, I can feel my heart pounding out of my chest.
Do you have a hand?
If you can make the brittle brittle.
Oh, balls. The worst has happened. The actual worst.
Bakers, your time is up.
Quite unfortunate for young Henry. Welcome back, everybody. That is a clip from the brand new season of the Great British Baking Show, or as they say in the UK, the Great British Bake Off. The first episode of season 10 dropped late last week on Netflix, and I had the chance to watch it, and I love these new bakers. There's not one that I'm annoyed with so far. Usually there's always one, like right off the bat, I'm like, you can go home. Everyone is really, I love everyone. The guy right there, that's Henry. I'm rooting for him.
With the castle that fell or whatever that was.
So he made this house made of sugar, and each side of the house was made from like crystallized sugar. So he formed it, and as you saw, that was the last moment, and he was almost done. The whole cake was done. All he had to do was put that house on top of the cake, and his hand was shaking, and it broke at the last minute. He was 1 minute away from glory.
He was like so British about it too. What did he say? Like, oh bollocks.
Oh bollocks. Yeah,
and it was like
fine.
no big deal. Yeah.
I would be screaming.
Right?
I would be freaking out. I'd be the obnoxious American on that show. You know, they were losing my mind. So here's the deal. Other than the fact that the season already looks good, there's a little difference, everybody, that I actually think we're gonna like. So here's the deal. It used to be when we would get a new season of the Great British Bake Off, it had been basically a year after it originally aired in the UK. Well, listen to this. Netflix has scored a new deal with the production company. We are now going to get the brand new season only 4 days after it airs in Great Britain. But, okay, that's the good news. Here's the bad news, depending on how you look at it.
No subtitles. I can't understand them sometimes. I can't I just like sometimes their accents are very thick and I'm like, like I'm like, what is that, English? I'm sorry, I'm just saying. Sometimes British accents are hard to understand.
Okay, well, the good news, closed captioning still works.
Okay, great.
Number 2, good news, they still speak the King's English, and no, and number 3, oh God, I love you so much. No, number 3, so what they're gonna do is, the bad news is, they're only gonna release 1 episode a week. So they're not gonna dump the whole season at a time to binge. We gotta wait week after week, which that's fine, I'd rather get at the same time as Britain, you know? I love this show. We were talking before the show. The great thing about the Great British Bake Off is, it's just like a warm blanket. You know what I mean? There's no fighting, there's no throwing dishes. It's just a great old friend you come back to.
That's nice.
Yeah, you gotta watch this.
Sorry. No, I mean, my sister's really into this show too, actually. But I don't cook, I don't bake.
I get it.
I have pickles and string cheese for dinner, you know? If Jordan's not home. I don't cook.
What happened to her at the fair? Were you bitten by a goat or something? Were you bitten by a rabid animal at the fair? Okay. I love you. You're extra today. I am loving you. Yeah. Next in the dish. You are my sunshine. You are my sunshine. Next in the dish, the Jonas Brothers. You're going to love this. This is so sweet. You probably saw this on social. The Jonas Brothers took some time out of their busy tour schedule to make one fan's dream come true. Now look at this. This is Lily Jordan. She's 16 years old and she's a cancer patient, and she was supposed to attend the Jonas Brothers concert but had to undergo chemo that day. She jokingly posted to Instagram, she's like, hey, I can't be there. Could you come to my hotel room? Well, it went viral, and look at this. All 3 of the Jonas Brothers showed up. That is classy Lassie. And another post, she thanked them and called her chemo session something incredibly special and unforgettable. That is so nice. That's cool.
Yeah, definitely gives you all the warm fuzzies.
It does. And people, skeptics are like, wow, of course they did it. No, they don't have to do stuff like that.
No.
They did. That's really, I've always heard that they're good guys. I've only interviewed Kevin once, but they just seem like as we say, they were raised right.
They were raised right. Mm-hmm.
That's right. Well, here we go. Still ahead, everybody. It is the rematch America has been waiting for. 5-time Jeopardy champ Sam Kavanaugh is back in the house, and he wants revenge on Fox 9 know-it-all Nick. We'll be right back, everybody. Back after this. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Well, our first guest won big on Jeopardy this spring, winning 5 games and $156,000, and was part of one of the biggest controversies the show has ever seen. Well, this show has ever seen. That's right. Give it up for our very own Jeopardy champ, Sam Kavanaugh, everybody. Welcome back. We'll get into the quote-unquote controversy in just a second, but I mentioned the total that you won, and that's all great, but what I love about the winnings is what you're doing with it. You're giving money away to 2 of your favorite charities. Tell folks about the charities, if you will.
Yeah, so there's a couple of them that I really wanted to promote, and the first one is Friends of the Boundary Waters Wilderness.
Yeah.
Which, as I mentioned on those little awkward interview segments on Jeopardy.
Yeah. I love that you acknowledge they are a little awkward.
Yeah, they you're prepared for it, but it's still just moving fast on you. During one of those, I did mention that the Boundary Waters is one of my favorite places. I try to get up there at least once a year, often doing a solo wilderness camping trip, just to sort of challenge myself, sort of connect. I think it's a very, very important place for me personally. And also, I think for the state, like we say we have 10,000 lakes. I think we actually have more like 12,000 lakes in the state. And
was that a Jeopardy question?
It wasn't. It could be.
It could be, yeah.
So our water resources are just like super, super important in the state. And it's also just something that needs to be, we all should have a chance to connect to. And this organization helps protect some of those water resources and helps promote and give access to people who wouldn't otherwise be able to get up there.
I love that. Because there's a good number of people that want to go but can't go.
Right.
Talk to me about Reclaim. I love Reclaim. Tell the folks about that one.
Reclaim is hugely important. It is a service that focuses on providing mental health support for LGBT youth and young adults. And I've worked in education in the public schools and for some nonprofits that did job training. And that's one thing that you see a lot. I mean, if you think back to your time in middle school or high school, and it's challenging for absolutely everybody, right? You're trying to figure out who you are in that, and especially if you identify as somewhere LGBT, that is particularly challenging and can be, something that you need some support with. And so this organization gives support for people who would not be able to access it otherwise.
Yeah, I was talking about it. It's ironic and fantastic we're talking about it because I was talking about the stigma put around mental health. And again, we didn't have any programs like that. I was one of those kids that was trying to figure out who I was in middle school, horribly bullied, had no resources. I always talk to people and I say the biggest thing, you feel like you have no allies, and Reclaim gives you the allies that you those kids so desperately need when they're trying to figure this stuff out. So bravo to you. I appreciate you doing that and wanting to talk about it. By the way, everybody, when we put this segment on Facebook a little bit later, we'll put links to both of these organizations in the profile so you can get to them and do what you can. Okay, that's important. Let's get to far less important things, and that is the controversy that happened the last time you were here. Now, Sam was nice enough the last time he was here. He was here just to talk about his thing. We said, hey, let's play a little game where Sam goes up against we have a guy in our newsroom, and everybody, I don't care if you work in an Office Depot, I don't care if you work in a bowling alley or a cubicle farm, there's always a guy in your workplace, right, Sam?
Oh, yeah.
It's the guy that thinks he knows everything. You know what I mean? And that guy, I'm going to change his name to protect his innocence. It's Nick. Nick. That's right. Nick is that guy, and he's loud, and so Sam and Nick competed right over here right here's the video of it on Jeopardy, and sadly Nick won this game, but immediately afterwards our lawyers got involved. They really didn't, but we looked at the tape and we realized Nick cheated. Sam, Nick cheated.
How could he?
He rang in early on a few times. And then Sam was nice enough to remind us we really weren't following actual Jeopardy rules, right, Sam?
Right.
Yeah. Like what was one of the most egregious rules we broke?
Other than ringing in early, because, come on.
That's a little, yeah.
One of them is that, obviously, you have to answer in the form of a question. Another is that we should be able to read the clue and try to get ahead.
Yes. So this time, we've corrected all of that because of Sam's guidance. We have we have the clues written out. So when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, don't turn that dial. It is Sam versus Know-It-All Nick, the rematch, when we return. Stay with us, everybody. It is the moment we've been waiting for. That's right. Well, it is the moment we've been waiting for. It's the rematch of the ages. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for game time. Here we go! Jeopardy champion Sam Kavanaugh is ready to take on the self-described smartest person at Fox 9. Welcome back to our show. Welcome back to our show, senior content editor, Nick Lambert, everybody. Settle down with the gestures there. Okay, here we go. Now, as I said in the last segment, we've made some changes since our last Jeopardy-inspired face-off. All the questions will now appear on the screen this time and in front of the contestants. That's right. Per Jeopardy rules, are you stretching? What are you doing? Stand up straight. You must wait. Nick, now listen closely. This is the part where you faltered here.
You were the ref better.
I don't watch sports. Don't cheat better. Yeah. Wait until I finish the question before you ring in, or you will lose a point, okay? 1 point for any missed question, okay? So here we go. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Sam, you ready, buddy?
Let's do it.
Sam, calm as a cucumber. Nervous Nelly over here. Here we go. The category is TV classics. In 1952, the title character of this show asked, Do you poop out at your parties? Are you unpopular? Sam.
What is I Love Lucy?
You are right. Sam won, Nick nothing. Here we go. The category, music history. The question, after hearing Elvis perform in his hometown of Lubbock, Texas, he switched from singing country to rock and roll. Nick, you buzzed in early. It goes over to Sam.
Who is Buddy Holly?
You are right. I love America. Here we go. Hands above buzzers. The category, geography. The question, this is the only 3-word state capital in the United States.
What is Salt Lake City?
You are right. It is. It's harder to win when you don't cheat. Here we go. Here we go. The category, food and drink. This fruity drink was first sold via mail order in Hastings, Nebraska. Oh, yeah. Nick.
Kool-Aid.
I'm sorry you have to do
What
that in
is
the
Kool-Aid?
form of a question. We'll give it to you. Yes. You get the point. Nick has a point on the board, everybody. That's right. Okay, hands above buzzers. The category, sports. In tennis, this culinary term describes what you do when you step in front of your doubles partner to hit a ball. Time's up. What is poach? What is poach? There we go. No points awarded there. The score, 3-1. The category, Oscars. The question, this Brit is the only actor to receive 2 Oscar nominations for portraying 2 U.S. presidents in films from the 90s. Nick.
Who is Ben Kingsley?
You are wrong. Over to Sam.
Not going for it.
Not going for it. The answer, who is Anthony Hopkins? He played Nixon in Amistad. He played Quincy Jones in Amistad. And Quincy Adams, yeah, played John Quincy Adams. Who did I say? Quincy Jones. He did not play Quincy Jones. That's right. Okay. Here we go. 0 because you lose a point. So
I can do math.
Don't get sassy. Okay, category. Fun and games. The question, the desire to catch every insect as a child inspired a Japanese man to create this game in 1996.
What is Pokemon?
Okay, you were early, the judges say. I did not, yes. Over to Sam.
What is Pokemon?
You are right.
Ted's being a hater in the booth.
God bless America. Okay, the category, art. This artist who portrayed the Moulin Rouge in his paintings was a character in the film Moulin Rouge. Nick.
Let's see here. Who is Picasso? Never saw the movie.
No.
Earlier.
Okay, not going for it. Who is Toulouse-Lautrec? That's right, yes. Okay, we are. Nick, -1. Okay, here we go. The category, music. She had a #1 hit in each year of the 90s, the only singer to do so. Nick.
Who is Madonna?
No. No. Sam.
Who's Mariah Carey?
You are right. You are right. Is my glee showing? Here we go. The category, literature. In 1901, she published what has become the best-selling children's book of all time. Sam.
Who is Beatrix Potter?
You are right. You are right. We just got the score. It is 6 to -2. There we go. There we go. Here we go. Hands above buzzers.
Waiting for double Jeopardy.
That's right. The category, food and drink. The question, the name of the Scandinavian spirit is a shortening of the Latin word for water of life. Sam.
What is aquavit?
You are right. You are right. The newsroom is loving the Nick close-ups. Right there. Here we go. Okay, the category, TV. The question, the 240-year-old vampire known as Angel first appeared on this TV show. Nick.
That was Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good work.
The score is 7 to -1, which means Sam Kavanaugh is the champion, everybody. Nick, would you like to say
Congratulations.
Nice work.
And this is the best day of my life. Still ahead, everybody. Again, if you want information on Sam's charities, we're going to put the links. We're going to put the links when we post this a little bit later on Facebook. And if you would, please share this with everybody. That's right. Still ahead, everybody. Kendall talks with a local design blogger who reaches millions of people every day when the Jason Show continues right after this. Thanks, buddy. Welcome back, everybody. Oh, it's a good day. Welcome back to the show. It's been 5 years since a Minnesota mom started sharing posts online about everything from divorce to interior design. Since then, her Wit and Delight blog has gone big time, big, attracting millions of followers around the world looking for great ideas on decorating, organizing, and much more. Our girl Kendall recently got to know the woman behind Wit and Delight.
Well, first and foremost, I walked in and geeked out because I follow you on everything and all the things, and I'm actually seeing the space and meeting you. So tell me about Studio 125.
Yeah, Studio 125 was the place that we started kind of by accident. Originally my studio was right where that pole is right there, and it was just my office, my first real office for Wit and Delight. And there was the opportunity to expand out, and people were like, hey, can we rent your space? Can we use your props? And I thought, I have all these couches, I have all this stuff, maybe we could make it a place for people to come experience Wit and Delight in real life.
Winnie just takes over the couch.
Yes.
Winnie knows the best, the couch.
Yeah.
The dog Winnie, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know, is probably just as famous as Kate because Winnie's in all the pictures and on the blog.
But now you know, she just will sit there and she'll be like, and they're like, how do you get her to do it? I'm like, she's just sitting there. She's just like, who's waiting? So yeah,
I couldn't get her out if I tried.
She's a sweetheart. She's our therapy dog too.
She's so cute. I think you have a really cool story.
Thank you.
I want you to
tell my
share it
story
with everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I started Wit and Delight forever ago. I mean, almost 10 years ago now. And it was before social media had started. And I was working as a graphic designer. The economy had crashed, and I was like, I need to make some income. So maybe starting a design blog will help attract new clients. And it turned into this own beast of its own. So what it is now is it's a lifestyle blog around designing a life well lived. So it balances aesthetics and kind of crafting a home that reflects you, but also helps you kind of get your inner house in order, and kind of that the marriage of the two really helps you enjoy life at its fullest. During the time that I had the site, I got married, divorced, was diagnosed with mental illness, and had you have ADHD, really, really bad. Did you graduate college level of ADD? And I thought, well, maybe all this is kind of telling me, something about who I am. And if I'm struggling with a lot of this stuff, there has to be a lot of other people out there kind of having a similar situation. Right. So I just decided to write about it. And so the site really took a pivot. So now that's how you get kind of like the stories from people who are, you know, really experiencing beautiful transformations with, here's this gorgeous home. Right. Here's how to bring it into your own life. So it's a wonderful thing to be able to marry those two aspects.
Was there any advice that someone gave you on even a personal level or just on a professional level that really has helped you?
Sometimes we kind of think that we have to work really, really hard in order to have something great happen. And what I've learned is that over time, especially when you've been working for 5 to 10 years, you kind of realize that the stuff that you're really good at comes easily. And so that advice was really great. Look at where you're making the most impact, and it kind of takes the least amount of like energy or suck out of you, and kind of build your business around doing more of that. It's like that 80-20 rule. 20% of what you do yields 80% of the results, so do more of the 20%.
If anybody who's watching is like, I either want to start a business, I want to start a blog, do you have any sort of just advice for them?
Yes, get started. Having a strategy document, kind of a business plan, those things are great to keep you on track, but so much of business is trying things out, listening to your target audience, asking questions, not being afraid to like get your hands dirty. I love when I talk to new business owners who are like, oh, I just went and like just made this t-shirt and prototype. Oh, it's nothing. I'm like, you went and you got your hands dirty, and you're talking to me about it. That is the best first step you can take.
Gosh, has it just like shocked you just how big it's gotten from like you just expressing what's going on in your life to now all of a sudden you've got like over 3 million followers?
Yes, I mean it's crazy. It's part of being at the right place at the right time, but also having a clear passion and drive towards a certain message. I've realized that those two things together is kind of like lightning in a bottle, and it doesn't always happen when you want it to, but when it does, you kind of seize the opportunity.
And she has. Kendall joins me now. It's inspiring.
Yeah, she's awesome. I've been following Kate for years, and what I said in the beginning of the piece, if you didn't catch it, I don't know how many people here are on Pinterest, but I'd been pinning her space forever, and then I found her, and I was like, oh my God, you're a real person. So it was really cool for me, and she's really inspiring when it comes to, we talked about mental illness, mental health, being aware of yourself. She does cookbooks. She does art galleries, like we're going to talk about next. She does like everything, literally everything on that blog. And for especially women my age, it's pretty inspiring because people want that kind of information.
It's inspiring for a guy my age. That's right. After the break, Kate from Wit and Delight shares her advice for creating a gallery wall in your home, which is like the hot thing to do. How do you do it? You're going to find out when we come back. Back after this. In the last segment, we got to know the woman behind the mega popular blog and social media page, Wit and Delight. Now she's sharing some of her expertise for all of our houses.
Gallery walls are seriously red hot right now, but they can be a little intimidating. Don't know how to do it. So Kate showed me the right way to do it. Check it out. So interior design is a big thing. Yes. And I wasn't only just geeking out because I wanted to meet you, but gallery walls are a really sweet thing. So you're going to show the people a little bit about like how to do it in your house.
Yes. The first place to start is to decide which large piece you want to have like as the anchor of the wall. It's your focal point. Okay. You can either start with that in the center of your space or off to the right like I did here or off to the left. And what I do is I always start with that and I kind of fill in the pieces around that space. So you're probably going to have one large one, two medium-sized ones based on that large piece, and then maybe 3 to 4 small ones that you can kind of sprinkle in. And the whole point and goal is to kind of fill in your space in a way that leads your eye around the space using that big piece as your focal point. Let that one drive the color palette. So if the color palette is black and white, or in this case it's cream and navy, you can build things in that are either in the cool color palettes with maybe a pop of color or a warm color, and that will help you curate and drive the pieces that you like. Because oftentimes you can say, I like all of these things individually, but all together they look a little chaotic. You can't quite put your finger on why they look a little different. My rule is that you want 10% of it to be like a little different and weird, but it should be harmonious in terms of the color. So here we've got, a light blue, we've got a little bit of this greens and grays and natural colors. What's great about natural colors is they all work really well together. So white, black, I think navy looks good, and even like pink and like kind of creaminess, those are all kind of neutral. So that palette is like a really easy way for you to kind of hack it all together.
Right.
Then if you want one large pop of color, I had this heart that said "Get in here" that was one of my favorite posters, and it worked well with a lot of my stuff because the rest of it was neutral and there was this big pop of color. So don't be afraid of it, but know that it's a little harder to kind of have a lot of competing colors than it is to start with neutrals and then add that color in.
Frames. Now there's a color context to this and then also the size thing.
Yes.
On all dimensions.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, for sure. So if you like a more eclectic look, it's nice to mix 3 different materials or colors into your frames. I really like to have them all be pretty modern, but I let the depth and the sort of the depth size or even the width of them vary, and it gives it kind of an eclectic look without looking out of control. So if you really like that kind of like, oh, it looks like it's been pieced together over time, you know, most often those are all curated at one time or hung at one time. They're not kind of hung sporadically, but it kind of looks like, oh, it's taken a long time to get here, which in reality, a lot of these things do take some time. You have to collect the things that you like and then edit it out. So let the frames kind of reflect that journey. And I think gold, white, black, and a natural all work really well together.
Matting.
Yes.
Because I see some of these do and some of them don't, and that has been my hang up. Like, I don't know what to do.
I like to let the piece drive the matting. However, think of it as a ratio again, 50% unmatted, 25% matted, and then maybe 25% on a floating frame, or you can just have them all matted. I prefer to have like maybe a 50-50 mix. It could be 50% matted, 50% not. Just make sure that they're kind of sprinkled out around the layout.
I'm like, I gotta go home and review my whole idea because no wonder I couldn't figure out how to do it.
Well, I hope it I think it's just hard because you're making tons of decisions and they all change based on like one decision or not, like matting, where that is sort of like the 4th decision you should make. I think it really is about, okay, what is gonna look best together based on the right amount of eclecticism, and it starts with the art.
I'm like, why don't I just take a picture of this and I'll just put it all. I'm just gonna take all this over to and just hang it up. Just like, just take the wall with me.
I love gallery walls, but I'm not great at it.
Yeah.
They're beautiful, but they're hard to do.
Absolutely. And so she's got an entire blog post about this whole thing.
Does.
But the big thing is not adding way too much color, which a lot of us make that mistake. The frames was a big thing, having the one big picture, 2 medium, and then a couple small ones. And then the matting was a big question for me because I like matted artwork, and sometimes I don't. So, she really talked about how it's up to you, but these are the basics of how you make it look good.
Yeah,
So,
and again, if you missed any of the tips, we're going to post this a little bit later on Facebook. Just search for The Jason Show TV and press that old follow button. And to learn more about the blog right there, witanddelight.com, or follow them on Instagram. I will be following them immediately after the show. We're going to wrap things up when we return. Back after this. Stay with us, everybody. Back after these words. Got to tell you, in the commercial break, we heard from the Smithsonian Institute, and they want a copy of the scoreboard from our Jeopardy game. So Kendall will present that to the Smithsonian a little bit later. Before we go, you guys really liked this on my Instagram account. This was taken over the weekend. These are my boys. This is Dexter and Mr. Big. This is right after we got to the cabinet, and look at Mr. Big sitting in the crook of Dexter's. He's like. The brothers love each other. You can see more pictures of the boys on my Instagram. Just search for Jason Matheson and Kendall Mark. Those are our personal accounts. Okay, we thought it'd be fun to end today since, the fair's over. This is the start of a new thing. So we decided to do what we did at the fair every single day, and that's play Let's Make a Deal with this audience. So, just once. We're not going to do this every day. This is just a way to say goodbye to the fair. So, Kendall, keep an eye on the audience for me. I'm gonna say an item. If anybody has this item in their purse, they get a prize from Aaron Schwab. Okay, we are looking for a first day of school photo of children. Does anybody have that? Anybody? You do? You do? On your phone? That counts right there, Aaron. Okay. We are looking for a plastic spoon. Anybody have a plastic spoon? No? Okay, no one's eating after the show. Okay, next. A highlighter. Anybody having a highlighter? No?
I have one of those in my purse.
Okay. And State Fair favorite, an extra pair of underwear. No, I'm just saying, no, yeah. Everybody had that at the fair. Anyway, that is going to do it for us. Tomorrow on the show, Oscar-winning producer and Minnesota native Jim Burke will be live in our studio to talk about his success. It's a food truck for your hair. Producer Ted goes inside a 1960s Airstream. Wait till you see what this is all about. That's going to do it for us. If you're a kid watching that's being bullied, go out there and be yourself because nobody can tell you're doing it wrong. Bye.